Hello Year 7 and welcome to your first lesson for the CADCAM project. In today's lesson I'm going to show you how to set up your very own technology folder in your documents. This is going to be where you will save all of your work to during your time at Collingwood. I will then show you how to open our template file for the keyring and have a go at creating a few basic keyrings of your own. At the end of this video I will show you how to save your work in your technology folder, so please make sure that you watch right the way through to the end. As we go through the video, please do pause and have a go at doing it yourself. Don't just watch the whole thing and then try and do it from memory. So watch a little bit of this video, pause it, and then do it for yourself. If you get stuck at any time, please do go and speak to your teacher who will be able to assist you. So the first thing we're going to do is set up your technology folder where you're going to save your work. Now there's two ways we can access your documents. You may have a little folder icon down here on the taskbar. If you don't have that, you can click on the Start button and you can go to the folder icon here for documents. So I'm going to click that one and that brings me to my documents. Now I've got a load of stuff in here already, but what you can do is then right click on your mouse, click New, and then select Folder. Now I'm going to call my folder Tech. You could call it Tech Year 7 if you wanted to. I don't really mind as long as you create a folder for all of your tech work to go into. This way we're not going to lose anything. To start that, you just press Enter. Now I'm hoping I haven't already got one. There we go. Once you've made your Tech Year 7 folder, you can double click on it. And at the moment it's empty because we've not put anything in there. That is going to be used throughout the rest of the year, throughout all of our projects. So please make sure you keep this one and you take a note of how to get to your documents using the little folder icon. What we're going to do now is open our design program that we're going to use. And we use 2D design for this. So I'm just going to minimize by clicking that button there, minimize my tech folder. And on the desktop, we've got this icon up here. It says 2D design and we're going to double click on that. It loads pretty quickly and it has this box in the middle. If you just click anywhere on the screen, that box will disappear. You don't have to type anything in there. So this is 2D design. This is the program that we use for our laser cutter. Before we start though, we're going to open the template file that's got the right sized area for our keyring. This means you're not going to make anything that's too big or too crazy. So to get to here, we're going to go to File and Open. Once the open window appears, we go this PC. We are then going to scroll down to the work submissions drive, the L drive, and you're going to double click with your mouse. We're in technology, so we're going to double click on technology, and then we go to resources. Now we're in Year 7 and we're doing the CADCAM project, so we double click on the folder and then the template file, and it should look like this grid on the preview window here. We now click Open and that opens the template file in front of us here. Before we can start working, we have to save this as a copy into your technology folder, and it is really, really important. So please do this next step before you do anything else. To save it into your technology folder, we go File and then Save As. We then can find your documents by going to this PC, Documents, and then you can scroll down to your Tech Year 7 folder. Double click to open the folder, and at this point I would change the file name to your name. So I'm Mr. Thomas, so I change the file name to Mr. Thomas. And then I click Save. Just double check that at the top up here it has changed the file name to your name, so you can see your name at the top of the page. If you've done that, you're now ready to continue with the rest of this video. Now for lesson 1, I'm going to show you a few basic skills of how you can create a really simple keyring using 2D design. Now each of these boxes is the maximum size for a keyring, and I've given you lots of boxes so that you can have a go at creating loads of different ideas over the next 2 lessons. Today's lesson though, basic skills, getting you used to drawing shapes and using the right colours so that when we come to laser cut it, it's going to work properly. Now I'm going to start by zooming in, and you can use the little magnifying glass tool here to zoom in to the boxes to make them a little bit bigger, and you can use the sliders at the side of the page so that you can zoom in on the one we need. And I'm going to start up here in the top left corner. Now the most basic way to make a keyring is to take one of the existing shapes and draw it. So I could start here with a square. Now at this stage you'll notice my little icon here, my little arrow for the mouse, jumps to the dots that are on the page, which is okay. We could work like that. I could draw a square and it'll jump to those dots. If you want to have a little bit more freedom though, if you untick gridlock, you can see we now can move our square to anywhere we like. So I'm going to create a little square there, and that could be a keyring. At the moment though, it doesn't have a hole to put the keyring through. So we're going to use the circle tool to do this. Now what I want you to do now is to click on the circle tool and hold down the mouse button. And it brings up all of these options for the circle tool. We're going to go to this next one here, the circle with the R next to it. And that says draw a circle with a given center and radius. And if you let go of your mouse, it will allow you to do that. And you get this little box appear down here. Now, key terms here, radius is half the size you want the circle to be. So the diameter is the full size of the circle, the radius is half of that. Now I want a 5mm hole in my keyring. So I'm going to put a 2.5mm radius circle. You then click OK, and you can now place this circle wherever you like. I quite like the idea of having the circle up in the top corner of my keyring. Now at the moment I'm still on the circle tool, so if I keep clicking I keep getting a load more circles, but I don't want that. So what we do, to get out of any tool, you click the select button, that arrow on the toolbar there. If you need to undo anything, you can go Control and Z on your keyboard and just keep pressing that, or you can go Edit and Undo. If you ever need to delete anything, you can drag a box over it with your mouse, and then you can hit the delete key on your keyboard. Now you might have heard earlier from your teachers that there are 3 colours that are very important for our laser cutter, and those 3 colours are black, blue and red. Black does the outside cut, so the outline of any shape. So if this square here is my keyring, the black at the moment is perfect. It's going to cut round the outside edge. Blue is used for any holes or cutouts. Now our circle on here is a cutout, so we want to change that to blue. The way we do that is we select it, we then go up to the top here where it says line and then colour next to it, and we click that colour button. Now the colours we use are always on this bottom row. We don't use any other fancy shades of blue because otherwise the laser cutter will not pick it up. We select that blue, we select OK, and if we click off of the circle you can see it is now blue. Now that is the most basic type of keyring that you can have. It's an outline shape and it's a round hole. We could go for a slightly fancier shape. You could use the line tool to draw your own outline. The only thing you've got to do with this is make sure it all lines up and all the edges join up, which can be a bit tricky. What I will do now though is I'll show you a trick to make sure they do. Hold down on the line tool, move across to draw a series of connected lines, and suddenly all of your lines join up. If you find you get to the end and you overlap like that, that's okay. You just go back to the select tool, and what we can do now is trim off any edges. If you hold down your mouse button on the delete any, move across to the next one, delete part of an object between the 2 nearest intersections, and now we can just click on those overlapping lines and we've got our shape. If you like something and you want to copy it, we can do that too. So let's say I want to copy the circle, the hole. You just select it, and then underneath here you've got the 2 squares that say copy. You can select it. To move anything, you just drag the middle square inside the shape and you can move it to wherever you like. So I quite like that design that we've got there, But at the moment, it's still a little bit basic. We've only got an outline and we've only got a hole. Let's say we want to create something, a design on it that we're going to engrave on the surface. We could just draw another series of lines or another shape. So I could draw another little design on here. And at this stage, if you want it to be engraved, we select the shape. And again, you can do that just by dragging your mouse over it. We can then go to color. And remember, for anything you want to engrave, that's just etching it on the surface, burning it on the surface of the material with the laser. Then we select red. And now we've got a design that's got an outline shape, a hole, and it's got engraving. And these are going to be the designs that are going to get a few more marks and a higher grade overall. We could also try adding in some text. So let's say I wanted to put my name on this square keyring here. We've got the text tool up here, which we select. You then click where you want the text to go, and you can type it in. And then you click OK. Now at the moment that text is enormous, so I'm going to need to go to the select tool. I click on the text, and then you can resize it using these little squares on the outside. And you want to make sure that it fits fully on your design. Now the problem is it's black at the moment, and as we know from earlier, black means it's going to cut out. So I'm going to select it, go to my usual thing up here, I select color, and I'm going to choose red because I want it to engrave. But notice I've still got black in the center of the part. To remove that, we click on it again. This time though, we go to fill and the color next to it. Sorry, we don't. Let me just change that one. We go to fill and we go no fill, and we just click OK, and that removes the fill. And that means we're now going to engrave my name onto that keyring. Now there's loads of other ways you can use this as well, and I'd like you to spend the rest of the lesson filling up as many of these boxes with different design ideas as you can. I will show you a couple of options though. We've got the arc tool if you want to draw any curves. The spline tool down here, this is quite great because you can create all kinds of curvy lines just by clicking and joining them together. Don't forget, anytime you want to finish, you just press the select tool. If it doesn't work though, you can just go right click. There we go, right click, and it will stay as well as pressing the select tool. So your task now is to spend the rest of the lesson playing around with these tools and features and try and come up with at least the first row of designs. So if we just zoom out on here, there are 8 boxes on this first row that I would like to see filled with design ideas. Now at the end of the lesson, you need to save this again into your documents. So we've already saved it into your folder. So all you need to do is go File and Save, and that is job done. Once you've clicked File and Save, at the end of the lesson, you will be instructed by your teacher to sign out. So all you'll do then is close 2D Design by pressing the X at the top, and then you are ready to sign out. Don't forget though, if you have any problems, do rewind and have a look through the video again. And if you're still really stuck, then please ask your teacher for assistance. In our next video, I will show you how you can take images from the internet and you can put them into your keyring designs to create something even more special and even more unique. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.